You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're doing everything right and still feel stuck. Same day, same effort, no progress. And after a while, it's not your body that gets tired, it's your hope. Spend enough time talking to men. Really listen, and you start to notice something unsettling. It's not that they're lazy. It's not that they don't care. It's that they're trying, and nothing seems to be working. Same day, over and over, and after a while, something in them starts to shut off. Well, hey there. Before we get started with this video, I wanted to say thank you so much for watching. This is the brand new season 2 of The Better Story, where we help men become godly men in a broken world. We talk about marriage, relationships, and becoming the best version of yourself. I rebranded my triathlon racing channel in April of 2026, and I have the goal of getting 10,000 subscribers to this now faith-based YouTube channel, and I hope that men of all ages and lifestyles from all over the world can resonate with this message from the gospel. I think it's so important today because you hear people like Scott Galloway and Joby Martin and many others say that the most dangerous person in the whole world is a young man who is broke and alone. And I believe that. So while I'm on paternity leave, I'm going to dedicate this amount of time that I have while our baby is sleeping and resting, or when my parents or in-laws are able to help. I'm going to dedicate to making this channel help it grow and see how many young men I can reach out to. And you'd be doing me a huge favor if you sent this to someone in your life, preferably a man, but women can watch this as well. Send this to as many friends and family as you can, and maybe it will help them. You never know. I think it is so important, especially today, 2026, while we're already 4 or 5 months into the year, and the economy is not looking so great. There's wars everywhere, all different places around the world, especially here in Canada. There's unemployment. Men are really struggling. Families are struggling. Go, 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 go. In this season, I plan to touch on more of these topics, but more in depth. And there's going to be 12 episodes for this season. So again, thank you for tuning in. If you've already watched season 1, that's great. If you haven't, you can go see a playlist that I made on the YouTube channel. You can go through all 13 episodes of season 1. It would be great if you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I think 90% of the viewers are new and are not subscribed. So that would be really awesome, and I'd be very grateful for that. And like this video and leave comments. That helps a lot. It helps the algorithm push my videos to more people who need to see it. And I really hope you enjoy it and you find some use in it. So let's get going with this new season. And like and subscribe. Spend enough time around men, at work, in the gym, online, and you start to hear the same thing. Different words, same feeling. A lot of men today feel stuck. Not stuck because they're doing nothing, but stuck because they're doing everything they were told to do, and their life still isn't moving forward. They wake up already tired, not just physically, but mentally. There's this weight sitting on them before the day even begins. But they push through it, and they get out of bed, get ready, show up. They go to work. They do what's expected. They carry the responsibility. And then the day ends, and nothing really changes. They sit in traffic, or they close their laptop. They move from one screen to the other, desk to couch, task to distraction. And then comes the part of the day that's supposed to feel like freedom, but it doesn't. They scroll, they watch, they numb out. Not because they're lazy, but because they don't know what else to do. And underneath all of that, there's this quiet thought. Tomorrow is going to be the exact same. So they stay up later than they should, just trying to feel some sense of control over their time. But all it does is make the next morning worse, and the cycle repeats. For a lot of men, that's not a phase. That's their life, a loop. And what makes it heavier is what's missing. There's no one waiting for them at home, no wife, no girlfriend, no one asking how their day went. Friendships have faded. The guys they used to know are busy, moved on, or just gone. And the older you get, the harder it becomes to rebuild that. So it's just quiet, an empty space, an empty routine, an empty end to the day. And if you zoom out far enough, you start to see why this hits so hard. Because most men aren't asking for a life of fame or luxury. They want something simple. They want their life to mean something. They want work that feels like it matters. They want to build something they can point to and say, I did that. They want a woman who respects them, who believes in them, who chooses them. They want a family, a place where they're needed. They want brotherhood. Older men to guide them, men beside them to walk with them, and younger men they can pour into. For most of history, that kind of structure wasn't rare. It was normal. But today, it feels out of reach. Work feels disconnected. You can give years of your life to something and still feel replaceable. Relationships feel uncertain, fragile, complicated. And friendships are harder to build, and even harder to trust. So what ends up happening is this. Men start carrying the weight of life alone. And at first, they manage it. But over time, something shifts. Because effort without progress is exhausting. And effort without meaning is even worse. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 12 says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life." And that's what a lot of men are feeling right now. Not just tired, not just frustrated, but heartsick. Because the life they thought they were building feels like it's slipping away. Or worse, it starts to feel like it was never possible at all. And when a man starts to believe that, when he believes that nothing he does is going to change anything, that's when things get dark, not loud, quiet. Numbness, distraction, withdrawal. a slow drifting away from the man he wanted to become. Now here's where we need to be careful, because it's easy to look at all of this and say, the world is broken, everything is stacked against you, and there's some truth in that. But if that's where we stop, it leads to nowhere, because it pulls all the power outside of you. And if your life is controlled by things you can't change, then of course you feel stuck. So here's the shift. Maybe the problem isn't just that life is hard. Maybe it's that we've been trying to build a meaningful life without the things that actually create meaning. Because meaning doesn't come from comfort. It comes from responsibility, from being needed, from building something that costs you something. And a lot of men today have been handed a version of life that removes those things. Everything is easier, but easier doesn't make you stronger, and it doesn't give you purpose. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10 says, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, so we can do the good things He planned for us long ago." That means your life isn't random, it's not meaningless. But you don't find purpose by waiting for life to feel better. You build it, slowly, deliberately, through action. And I know that's not always what you want to hear, because when you're tired, when you feel behind, when life feels empty, the last thing you want is more effort. But the problem isn't that you're trying. It's that your effort isn't connected to something meaningful. So instead of asking, "Why am I stuck?" ask this: "What am I building right now that actually matters?" Not someday, right now. Because even small shifts start to break the loop. Taking ownership of your health, reaching out to one man, building something, even if it's small. These aren't dramatic moves, but they're directional. And directional breaks stagnation. You don't need to fix your whole life overnight. You just need to stop living it on autopilot. And if you're in that place right now, you're not alone. A lot of men are there, more than people realize. But this isn't the end of your story. It's a signal. Something in your life is out of alignment. And that's not something to ignore. It's something to respond to. Because the truth is, you weren't built to drift. You were built to build. And that doesn't start when everything is perfect. It starts when you decide, I'm not staying here. Not in anger, not in panic, but in clarity. Because the loop doesn't break all at once. It breaks the moment you start moving in a different direction. And that's the better story. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know where you're at in life right now. Take care.